For whatever reason.
For whatever reason.
Who are you and why are we here?
I'm Nanette.
And I'm Tim.
And I'm making yogurt.
Are you now? So what have we done so far?
Well, I put some milk in this here crock pot and I turned it on high, and then I set my Polar thermometer in it, and when it got to 195 I stopped it.
So that was really complicated.
That's all I did so far.
So the step we skipped was pouring milk into a crock pot.
Pouring milk, which I think most of our listeners can handle on their own. So the next step in making yogurt is taking the crock and putting it in an ice bath, which I have prepared here in the form of a sink filled with water and ice. And I will monitor this and keep an eye on it, and I want it to get down to about 100 degrees. And when it does, we'll be back. Okay.
How long has it been?
I don't know, is it 20, 30 minutes maybe?
I don't think it's been that long. Okay.
So we're going to check the temperature of the milk. Instant read thermometer. Oh, look, 95 degrees. That's cool enough to add the yogurt.
So what is
so
that?
This is plain. This happens to be Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Any yogurt that has active cultures in it. The active cultures is the important point. So I'm going to take about a cup of the warm milk, mix it in with the yogurt.
So you're tempering it?
I'm tempering
and
mixing the active yogurt cultures into the milk.
So that's to get the active yogurt to the same temperature as what the milk is.
Correct.
Rather than shocking it.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we're just going to pour it in here. And then we're going to cover it, and we're going to put it in a warm oven for about 8 hours.
Define warm.
You set the oven temp to about 120. You turn the temperature, the oven off, leave the oven light on, and just set the pot in there, and it will keep it warm with the light on.
So all right, so it's been, what, 4.5 hours?
Something like that.
All right, so we're going to check in the oven. What have we got? We got a crock pot here in the oven.
Yes, we do.
And okay.
It's kind of, yeah, it's solidifying.
Okay, so
the whey hasn't separated.
All right.
So it's getting yogurty.
So that means
for sure.
What, another 2-3 hours, you think maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chances are it'll be bedtime, and I'll just stick it in the fridge overnight and deal with it tomorrow. And I'll start straining it tomorrow.
So it's the next morning.
It is.
All right. So what do we have here?
Well, last night before bed, we took the yogurt out of the oven and we put it in the refrigerator, and now it's the next morning. And we have here yogurt, and the clearish liquid is whey. What I need to do now is strain the yogurt, get the whey out of it so that we just keep the solids.
All right, so what have you done here?
What I have here is a large bowl, a colander, and a tea towel. This is a nice thin kitchen towel, tea towel. And what I'm going to do is put all of this, we're going to see the texture. It's still a little bit thin, but that's fine. It's still yogurt. And we're going to put all of the yogurt in the towel. The liquid will go through. The yogurt will stay in the towel. Once it has thickened and the whey has strained out, then we will put it in smaller yogurt containers.
Why are you spooning it rather than just pouring it?
Because I think it would plop and splash and make a mess.
Okay. Oh, it's getting thinner as you get to the bottom.
It's time to check for whey in the bottom of the bowl and pour it off. So I pulled this out of the refrigerator. It's in my tea towel. And I have plastic wrap on top of it. It's all kind of wet, and you can see that the consistency is still a little bit liquidy. But around the edges, it's really starting to thicken up because that's where the whey is draining off into the bowl below.
It's like heavy sour cream right now.
Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the bowl over to here. And in the bottom of this bowl, we have whey that has drained out of the yogurt. And so I'm going to collect it in this jar.
You've obviously already collected some.
I did some earlier today.
Alright, so that's the stuff that'll like smell and taste like yogurt, isn't it?
Yes, it smells very yogurty, and it's just the way, and you can use it as the water substitute in baking bread or other baked goods.
And then you also have used it to thin this back out before.
If you drain the yogurt too much and it gets like a yogurt cheese, you put a little bit of whey back into it and it loosens it up again and makes it taste more like yogurt. So I'm actually going to stir this around a little bit just to get the thick parts and the thin parts sort of mixed back up together.
How long has it been sitting
really
to make
thick.
this much whey? It's been a couple hours at least.
It's probably been a good 4 hours.
Okay.
And you can stop whenever it reaches whatever temperature whatever consistency you're happy with for yogurt. If you want a nice thin yogurt, you're pretty much there right now. I like mine a little bit thicker, so it's closer to a Greek yogurt, so I'm going to let mine keep draining for a bit longer.
I think we might actually be close to being done.
I think we have yogurt.
That looks mighty yogurty.
See, this is nice and thick.
That's the consistency we like.
That's right. If you like it thicker, go ahead and keep on straining it. If you like it thinner, then add some whey back to it.
Okay.
But I am going to put it in our storage container, and we'll put it in the fridge, and whenever we want yogurt, put it in a bowl, mix in some fruit or sugar or honey or whatever you like in your yogurt, use it for cooking, and you're ready to go.
So how much milk did you start with?
Started with about a half gallon. I'm actually going to pour the last of the whey in here and we can see how much whey we ended up with. It's a handy little pouring tip. When you pour something, if you continue the circle, you don't get a drip down the side. So that's a cool thing to know, especially if you have hot grease in a pan.
Oh no.
You can pour it out without a drip. So this much whey came out of that yogurt that we made in the crock pot.
That's a lot.
It is quite a bit.
Alright, so now we can have yogurt when we want this week, right?
Now we've got yogurt.
Good. Alright. Guess what I learned?
What?
If you put a flip camera at 130 degrees for about a month and a half, it still works.
Yay!